Y'all heard her testimony many times, and she's strong in the faith, and in the faith sometimes we fall and we come back stronger. Last week y'all heard me and my message. This week we have a message from my better half that maybe she can come up here and we praise harder than I did. We're gonna raise her to the top. We're gonna welcome her. She's a little nervous, y'all. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna let her know that she is welcome and loved to give the word in this church. So let's give a big round of applause.
It's always a pleasure to be back in the house of the Lord.
We need to drop that mic there.
So, some of y'all know about my journey the past 4 years or so. And I used to be so ashamed of it, but the way I see it now, God has worked wondrous miracles in my life. And like Cam said, I've never been stronger in my faith than I have today. And I only have God to thank for that.
That one there. Let's see.
Careful.
My message today is God's love. Your cure for loneliness is to spend time with Jesus. And I feel like the only way for us to spread God's love is to let that love shine through us. Yeah. Some of us right now may be shining brighter than others, but that don't make us less of a person than the next person. God could still be working on us. You know, we're all in different walks in our faith right now. We're all on different roads, but they lead back to that same path. Yep. Sarah, can you sing the song? That song right there was written by my uncle Glenn, which would be my dad's brother. He's a gospel singer. He's the evangelist on the reservation, and he holds revivals throughout the Midwest. I'm going to start today with Psalms 5:12 and Romans 5:17. I'm going to start out with this because God's mercy and grace are new every day and every morning. So God gives us fresh mercy and grace each morning to start a new day. So every morning that I get up, I try to be conscious of God's favor that surrounds me as a shield. And no matter what the day may bring me, I know that I will overcome and reign in this life through Christ Jesus. So, as I said, some of y'all know my background. I had just got released from prison on September 27th. So a little over 6 months I've been out. It's been a little rough, and it probably would have been a whole lot rougher if God was not on my side. If I didn't have my church supporting me and backing me up, it would have been a rough run. But, I'm standing here today, giving God thanks and praise because that's exactly what I have received is His mercy and His grace. And we're all capable of receiving that, no matter what our mistakes, no matter what our sins, it doesn't matter. Because the simple truth of the gospel is that God desires each and every one of us to understand how deeply He loves and favors us. Yeah. The more we understand His love for us and freely accept it at any time of the day or night, we become overfilled with it. And we become His love fountains where people can experience His love through us. Yes. And His love will change people and bring them to wholeness. Now that's so powerful because, we've all experienced new love. Teenage love, our first love. We fell in love for the first time, found our significant others, our first boyfriend, our first girlfriend, or whatever you want to call it. And do y'all remember what that feels like? You get butterflies in your stomach. You can't stop thinking about that person. You can't sleep, can't eat. It's just this newness. It's this happiness. And that's just like finding God's love.
Praise the Lord.
But it's not only happiness that we find in Him, it's joy.
Yes, Lord.
Because the difference between happiness and joy is happiness is the actual emotion. And joy is something that is everlasting.
Yes, it is.
And it's implanted within our hearts. When we allow God's love to shine through us and be a blessing to others who are bankrupt of love, because sometimes people don't value themselves.
True. Hallelujah.
And I think at one point in time I was like that myself in my own life. And that was probably my own free will too, because I grew up in the church. I was a Christian. My dad was a minister. And he was up preaching all the time. And I probably lost my faith about 11 or 12, once I was old enough to make the decision, am I going today? Am I not going? No. I'm not going to go with you this time, Dad. And then I came back to Christ again. And once I hit my 20s, and that fire water, as we call it, got a hold of me, it was game over after that. I felt like I was so unsavable that I think I had used this phrase before in my testimony, but I remember looking back, looking for that light, and it was just so far away. And so I kept telling myself, well, I'm going to go ahead and keep traveling this way, in this direction, because if I turn around and I look and the light is so far away, it's easier for me to just keep traveling this way because this is what I know, this is what I'm familiar with. But I know now, and I've been telling my loved ones this, because a lot of them don't value themselves. A lot of them are still out there lost right now. And I pray for them every day. And I know what their struggles are. You know, some of us have loved ones that are lost. You know, they don't know Jesus Christ. They don't know God's love. They don't know the power of his grace and his mercy and the joy that we feel once we find him. So my Uncle Glenn, who I got that song from, about the light shining bright, shining through you, shining through me, because now he's using me as a light to my family. And yeah, you know, they might scoff at me. They might say, oh, well, here she comes. Little Miss was better than everybody and messed around and got a DUI, went to prison, you know, and now she got out holier than thou, which I'm not. I never want to portray myself ever as the kind of Christian who is perfect, because I have flaws and I have struggles, and that's why I need Jesus Christ, and that's exactly what I tell them. And nobody can save and nobody can forgive me besides Jesus Christ. Amen. You know, he's the way, he's the truth, he's the life. Yeah. So now that I see, here I was traveling in this direction in the darkness, looking back like, wow, okay, I'm not going back that way. Let me keep partying, let me keep carrying on, let me keep hanging with these same people from my past, which was holding me back from making that change. Even if I was still coming to church, I was still going to Bible study, I was still hanging with the type of people that I shouldn't have been hanging with. But now it's like, okay, well, now that I see that it's a tunnel, it's not a one-way street that we travel down, y'all. Especially when we're in God's love. It's a tunnel, because now that I've been traveling down this direction and decide, okay, well, I'm not turning back. I've been looking forward, and the light at the end of the tunnel, on the other end of the tunnel, I have reached that end, and the light has come back into my life. So if there's hope for me, there's hope for anybody. So as I was saying, with a lot of people not valuing themselves, not having the opportunity to know the love of God, that's what I'm here for. That's what we're here for. We may not feel it at times, but we're here. We're spreading his love. We're spreading his joy. We're spreading his word. A simple smile, a simple hi to people that we pass on the street that might just be having the most horrible day ever. We don't know what people go through throughout the day. I know sometimes I'll be walking up in this church and Bible study so beat up, and nobody even had a clue what I was going through. And I know some of y'all might be experiencing that today. That's why we're here. You know, we're here to leave our burdens on this altar today. That's what this is for. And I called it before, I said, this church is my trauma bay. Because I work trauma surgery, and it's so hard, y'all, to see the way people come in that place broken. Some of them are so unfixable. Some of them lose their lives. And it's sad, because I had somebody tell me one time that the reason why we hurt so much when we lose our loved ones is because when Adam and Eve was created, we were not created to feel loss. But it was until they took that apple from that tree and they brought sin into the world. That's why we're so devastated when we lose loved ones, whether it be a significant other when we break up, broken heart, or a loved one passes away. And I could totally understand that, because it is like, yeah, why? Why do we hurt so much? But to look back at it like, wow, that stems all the way back to Adam and Eve. You know, Adam is the one that brought sin into the world, so now, therefore, we are born into sin. So, back to people not valuing themselves. We can't counsel someone out of destructive behavior. Once again, God's love, the cure for loneliness, is to spend time with Jesus. The only way to help somebody out of destructive behavior is we have to love them out of it.
Preach.
And man, I'll tell you what, I've experienced some hard love these past 5 years from my significant other. And at that point in time, I didn't realize it. I was mad. Like, why? Why are you talking to me like this, or why you treat me like this? Not knowing that it was for my own good. You know, like, you show hard love when you seriously, truly love somebody. Because if somebody don't love you, oh, go on ahead. Go ahead. Go to the bar. Go drink and drive. Go hang out. Go on a 5-day binge, or go do whatever. You know, if they let you walk out that door knowing that your life is in danger and you might not come back, then people don't love you. That's what I'm saying. With me hanging with people that I shouldn't have been hanging with, I realize now that I have to start surrounding myself with people who fit my future, not who fit my history. And those people are right here in this church. And that's all I need. You know, sometimes when you're out there and you're yearning, you don't know what's missing. You fill your life with things, materialistic things, people, just random people. You know, you try to make friends here and there, trying to fill that void. And all you really need is Jesus.
That's right.
And how somebody comes to you, you know, and I was introduced to religion, not so much God. And y'all know what I'm talking about. You know, every church has their own set of ways of doing things. And the churches I went to I went to church with my grandma. And it is more like religion there. You know, we did not get up to participate like we do here and now. It was strictly church hymn songs, and the minister gave the word, and it was no praising, no worshiping, no dancing, no clapping, no laughing, no smiling in that church. You know, it was just straightforward, come here, have church, leave. And it's just like the same thing over and over and over during the week. At least nowadays, we get to get up and speak our minds, speak our hearts, give our testimonies, give praise. I mean, we're up here singing. Who would have thought I would have been up here singing, you know? I mean, God has given me a lot of courage coming with Him. So, you know, like I said, God's love, just loving each other. And knowing, though, that no matter what, when things don't go our way, with God on our side, He gives us the strength to persevere.
Yes.
I know one thing, with all the struggles that I've been through, you know, you also have to glory in the tribulations that you face. Because those tribulations and those trials are what develop perseverance in your life.
Yes.
And then they develop character.
Yes.
And then when they develop character and you come to realize, well, you know what, that wasn't so bad. What I thought was going to kill me didn't. It only made me stronger, and now I have hope. Now there's hope for tomorrow. You know, it's like now I'm not the same person I was yesterday. I'm not the same person I was when I come to this church and I leave here. I'm out there doing major things, but only to the grace and the glory of God.
Praise the Lord.
So it's just like, you know, it's sending to love to everyone who's trying their best to heal from things that they just don't have the heart to discuss. Like I said, you know, we go our own separate ways when we leave here on Sundays and Tuesdays. We all have our separate lives. We might see each other in passing, but we never know exactly what we're going through. I mean, we lose loved ones. I'm experiencing a lot of loss and pain back at home. But I'm so proud now to say that, you know, I was the rock before, because they used to call me, say, Larissa, we need money, this happened. Larissa, where's Ham? Tell Ham we need money because this happened. But now my family is calling me saying, Larissa, we need prayers. This has happened. So, you know, there was a lot of things that I could speak on. And I decided to speak on this love because, you know, it's like God is love. Everything is love. Without love, where exactly would we be at? I mean, we turn on the news, we hear stories of how people are out here just, you know, acting a fool, how they treat other people. People don't have manners. They don't have respect for other people. I mean, it's just crazy stuff. And Ham was telling me about this story he's seen where this dude just walked up to this 78-year-old elderly woman on the train and kicked her in the face. And these people are just videotaping it, not even trying to stop him. And he kicked her 2 more times, and you know, they got it on video. Like, what's wrong with people? Why wouldn't you try to at least stop that? So, the only thing I think that kind of gets me down sometimes is my emotions. You know, because along with love come all the rest of the emotions that we experience. Anger, sadness, depression, happiness, surprise, anxiety, you know, scared, fear. Fear was a big factor in my life. And I could honestly say now that that's what really controlled my life. I would probably never really admit that because being Native American and with our cultural background, you're not supposed to show any fear. I mean, y'all seen all the movies how Native Americans are in there just stone-faced and don't show no emotion. They're so stoic. No, I'm tired of being like that. I want to smile, you know? I want to show some emotions. I want to be happy. I don't want to be like that anymore. And fear, you know, sometimes it controls us so much. Even like fear of rejection. I'm sure that we've all felt that at one point in time. Maybe not so much in our adult lives, but you know, growing up, it's like, oh, well, I want to be friends with this girl, but she don't want to be friends with me. Or I want to play basketball with these guys, but they don't want to let me because I don't have the right shoes. You know, it's like having the emotion of love, but having the bad emotions, you know, showing anger most of the time and making people feel less than what they are.
Praise the Lord.
So the fear of rejection controls us as much as we base our self-worth on the opinions of others and not on the cross. And the one thing about it is that the enemy always wants us to identify with our mistakes. And our mistakes do not define us. What defines us is the cross, and we are loved and forgiven and freed from all the mistakes that we have made in our lives. So when you know you understand that you are loved and favored by the creator of heaven and earth, you don't have to seek blessings anymore. Blessings start seeking you.
Yes.
And you know, and it's funny because people can see that. People can see that you're getting your blessings. And they might sit here and say, well, dang, why is she over here with a new car? Why does she have this? Why does he have this? You know, what are they doing that I'm not doing? I work hard. I do this. I do that. But like I said, you don't know a person's situation. That person is not saying, God, I want a car. And I want this kind of car, this color, with this size rims on it, and this tint, and this sound system in it. They might be praying in a whole different way, saying, God, what is it that you will bless me with today?
Praise the Lord.
You know, you see me struggling. And that's why I said, you know, to grapple in the tribulations and trials that we face. Because perseverance, you might have been walking the past 2 years. You might have been riding a bike. And then all of a sudden, one day, somebody walks up to you and says, hey, here's a brand new car. I've seen it. You know, we see it on TV all the time. And I mean, it's happened to me a couple of times in my life. I don't know if it's happened to y'all, but every provision and every blessing, everything that we ever needed was already provided through us through the cross by our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And to sit here and know that there is nothing in this world that I can do to get God to love me any less than what he has been loving me my whole life, refers to Jeremiah 31:3. I've never quit loving you and never will. Expect love, love, and more love from God. Now, that's a good thing because I know we all have our rocks in this world. But once again, living in the flesh, they pass away. But knowing that we can always turn to God when we're at our lowest, that's a blessing also. Just like I had said in my last testimony, being able to call on those legions of angels, knowing that those angels have already been called upon before we even open our mouths, because God knows what's in our hearts. So before we even speak it, we got those legions of angels coming to help us already. They might be standing behind us even before we have the thought. But God already knows what we need.
Yes, He does.
So to sit here and think that you earned the new car, the new home, and the clothes on your back without God's blessings, we need to remember to stop and give Him thanks.
Yes,
Because, the good Lord giveth, the good Lord taketh away. At any time, believe me, I went through that, like within a blink of an eye. One day I had it all, the next day I'm sitting in a jumpsuit in freaking Perryville. And everything is taken away from you, and you're living with 1,200 other women. It's rough, y'all. So Philippians 1:6, always being confident of this, that he who begun a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. So knowing that even if we walk through those doors, that something has been started in us. Yes. Even if we call upon His name one time. And I know I said it before, 2 words, Jesus save me. Well, 3 words, Jesus save me. You'll be in the depths of hell, walking in the middle of that battleground by yourself, depressed, just demons surrounding you. All you gotta say is, Jesus save me, and know that once you say that and you turn back to Him, what He has started, He will complete.
Yes, He will.
Because knowing also that when we read the Bible, y'all, and we see, I know y'all read the stories in there. There's a lot of awesome things that has happened. There's not some so good things that have happened in there, but in the end, God had always brought us through it.
Yes.
So one thing we need to remember is that the gospel is not about what is wrong with us. The gospel is about all that is right with us through Jesus.
Yes.
Finishing work despite all that is wrong with us. And with God telling us, for you did not choose me, I chose you. So, I'm just going to leave you with this, y'all. The song that I sang, go on ahead and let that light shine through you with somebody, something. You never know whose life you may be saving. How many people you come into contact with, how many people you interact with. You could be making a difference at all times. Amen.